Hello and welcome to Top Shelf Takes, the only show on the internet that is made completely of facts and no opinions whatsoever. My name is Tim. I am the channel director and creator of Famous Secret Agent.
I'm Dylan. And the guy
I'm Biz.
And that's Biz or Tommy, if you please. Now, before we get started, I just want to say, people often come up on the street and ask me how we keep ourselves so unbiased and don't pick our answer 100% of the time. They always ask, how do you, Tommy, and sometimes Dylan, always keep yourself so unbiased when you're trying to choose this pick? And it is because we are committed to the truth. Because whatever we say for this final list will be the list of the top 6 of whatever the category is that the internet can never disagree with ever again. We're each going to present our own top 6 lists for whatever the topic may be. Then we're going to, between those options, make the concrete final 6. So without further ado, let's just talk about our topic for a minute, the best sidekicks of all time. I'm going to hand it right off to Dylan. Get in there, Dylan. Let's go.
All right, so I'm going to get ruthlessly destroyed for my first pick, but I had to make it. I've got, at number 6, Rum for Captain Jack Sparrow sidekick. Without Rum, you would not have the same amazing Captain Jack Sparrow character through all of the movies, regardless of how you feel about the 4th movie. The Pirates of the Caribbean series is fantastic, and you gotta love Captain Jack Sparrow just drunkenly running around and always asking where the rum is. But when he does have the rum, it is loyal, it does its job, it gets Captain Jack Sparrow to where he needs to be. And not only that, I'm pretty sure at this point the collective hangover would kill him. So he needs rum as much as rum needs him. There we go.
So he's an alcoholic.
Or is it his sidekick?
No. I have Wilson the volleyball from Castaway. In terms of human connection, it doesn't get any better. Without Wilson, he would have died.
So would Jack Sparrow without rum, though. Just saying.
It could also kill him. Wilson is not gonna kill Tom Hanks.
Are you guys ready for my number 6?
Oh, we are, too.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to say something that you're going to scoff at, but I'm going to need you to hear me out. My number 6 pick, Robin from Batman. I believe this is the honorary mention that needs to be on this list. First, I will start off by saying there are cool iterations of Robin. You know, he has Teen Titans Robin. That's a cool Robin. You have the Arkham Knight games. If you ever played those, that's a cool Robin. Robin goes on to become Nightwing, which is an undeniably cool character. And one of the Robins is named Tim. Just throwing that out there. And I'm
biased is what you're saying, Tim.
And
yes,
Batman and Robin, the original 1960s show, that duo set the trend of superhero stuff as we know it. I think Robin is the honorary member that needs to be on this list. I'm going to jump right to Rum with Captain Jack. You know what? I think a sidekick needs to be loyal, and I'm going to go ahead and argue Rum is not loyal to Captain Jack. He is always saying, "Where is the rum? Where is the rum gone?" That's not loyal. That is something that is not
where the
showing up
rum's
for
going.
the job. No. He doesn't know where it is. He can look for it on that weird island, but then Elizabeth Swann's gonna burn it all up. Like, you can't ever find the rum. And so I think that's what I would argue against with Rum. Wilson, I love Wilson, but you're watching for Tom Hanks. Like, Wilson is a figment of Tom Hanks's imagination, and he floats away.
He does. He abandons Tom Hanks.
Can I do my mic drop moment now?
You may.
When you heard the word sidekick, what was the first character that popped into your mind?
The one that's at my number 1, but we'll get there.
No, Robin is paired with the word sidekick. It's undeniable. You may not like him, but he deserves to be on this list.
He does deserve to be on this list. You do raise a good point.
He's just so boring.
I mean, there's a lot, although Tim does raise a good point. We can't make a top 6 sidekicks list and leave off Robin. He could die. I'll give you the 6th spot.
You put a beverage.
So
you put a volleyball.
So
somehow that's better.
So with a limited amount of enthusiasm, our number 6 pick is Robin. Going on to number 5. I'm going to start this one off. Ready? I'm going to go Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings. I think a good sidekick is someone who finishes the job. And Sam is there the entire time. He does not go off once, other than when Frodo sends him away. He is loyal to a fault. And when Frodo can physically not finish the job, Sam not only finishes it, but he carries him to the finish line. And that is the depiction of a true sidekick. Sam has the iconic line, "I can't carry it for you, Mr. Frodo, but I can carry you." And then he climbs up the mountain, and you're watching him, and you can't tell me you're not ready to go cheer for the team when that moment comes. It is arguably the best moment of Return of the King, and that movie has an elf and a dwarf fighting together, and he's the only one that sees Gollum / Smeagol for the one he is, and is like, this guy is fishy, and he doesn't like it. So my number 5 pick is Samwise Gamgee, Samwise the Brave.
Well spoken, Tim. Well spoken.
Thank you. I came to
Especially the Scottish part.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I came to play this week. I can't deny.
You're ready. You're ready.
Let's go for the shutout.
All right, let's move on to Mr. Biz.
Is Professor Biz to you.
I am so sorry.
And I'm going Mini-Me of Austin Powers fame. Part of being a sidekick is you need to be visually stunning to look at. And what's better than one evil guy than a mini evil guy? And he may be the most iconic for being a sidekick outside of Robin. No one says Mini-Me without Big Me.
I would argue that, I mean, not argue, I would say that the Dr. Evil, that's his name, right?
Yes.
I don't like seeing Dr. Evil without Mini-Me. Like, I don't even want to go back and watch the first movie because I'm just missing...
A sidekick you want to have with the other guy.
Yeah.
The big kick.
The sidekick. All right. Tim, I'm going to have to back you on this one. I have Samwise at my number 5 spot for all of the previous things Tim has already said. How can you, like, he shows his loyalty over and over again. He gives the ring back to Frodo after having to take it. He shows, like, the mental toughness, the physical toughness. He literally carries him to the finish line. That is the absolute definition of a sidekick.
That's the sidekick you want.
Come on, like, how can you not? They're loyal friends throughout the whole, they're friends before, and he's just like, you know what? I'll come along. I might just be your gardener and your close friend, but you know what? I'm going to take up this quest with you.
I think Sam has it over Mini-Me. I'm sorry. I just think he's more iconic, Tommy. And I think
he's definitely more iconic.
I think Mini-Me...
I will say, Sam was my number 7.
Okay, all right.
Everyone's voice in that movie just pisses me off, so I don't watch it.
With that being said, our number 5 pick is Samwise the Brave, Samwise Gamgee. Going on to number 4. Dylan, why don't you start us off?
At number 4, I have Hermione Granger. Now, you could also throw Ron in there. I think you could argue the two of them. I
don't think we need Ron on the list.
No.
But Hermione, I think, needs to be on this list. Because when you talk about how the story wouldn't have ended without Samwise, the same thing could be argued for Hermione multiple times throughout the series. She's got the bag that's got an infinite amount of stuff you could take out of it and help us out. She's constantly pulling Ron and Harry, like, together, pulling them out of trouble. And, like, she's always there for them. That's, like, perfect definition of a sidekick. She's helping them out constantly. And a great loyal friend to Harry throughout the whole thing at Ron Weasley. She never abandons him. She stays with him. Hermione Granger for 4.
Tommy?
Okay, so Sam is the sidekick you want. I'm going to give you the sidekick you don't want. Donkey. Donkey's kind of annoying to go on a journey with. But at least once every 2 hours, you're going to laugh. And at the very end, if you're in a zombie apocalypse, you're throwing Donkey in the pile and you're running. He's got some use in that category. Doesn't bring much else to the table, but hear me out.
Dragon problem.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
He deserves to be on every list we've done so far.
I'm gonna get in this tango. I'm gonna go with Jessie from Toy Story. Now, I think Jessie is really cool because I think Woody and Buzz arguably are not sidekicks. They're a duo. But I think Jessie is a fair argument for sidekick. She's not in the main two, but she can take over as the leader if they need her to. Like, she is the default go-to leader when Woody or Buzz are out of action. Even when it's just Woody out of action, Jessie's stepping up to the plate. She comes in a little later to the game, and she's right there. She is, a lot of the time, the brains of the operation. She'll just, you remember Toy Story 4? She may have had a decreased role, but she's the one who does all the tricks and, like, blows out the tire. She's usually the one who thinks outside the box and then, like, comes in and has the answer to the question. I think Jessie is a really good sidekick and sometimes gets overlooked. So my vote would go for Jessie. I'm going to say, for my argument against each of you, Dylan, if you stick with me, kid, Hermione's going to shoot up way further than 4. I think Hermione, I'm not going to argue too much against you other than I think Hermione is the pinnacle of sidekicks in that I feel like if you want a top 3 sidekick, it should be someone you're a little embarrassed to put the name sidekick on. And so I think Hermione puts that bill. So I'm going to leave most of my arguments for her around, but if you stick around a little bit, Hermione's way higher for me. Going for Donkey, Puss in Boots is better.
Not a chance.
Yeah, you heard me.
That's sort of
Tim, I disagree.
All right, that's fair.
Better than Donkey? No.
All right.
That's just wrong, dude.
Well, then let me talk about the argument. Tommy mostly talked about how much Donkey sucked as a sidekick. Like, if we're
your argument for Donkey.
Push tried to kill them.
No, I'm sorry. Like if you talk about like the argument against for Donkey, you shouldn't say how much he sucks.
Donkey's gonna take off 5 or 6 zombies. I don't think anyone's gonna stop for Puss.
No one is thinking Donkey with zombies. Where are you getting this?
No one eats Puss.
I'm gonna stay Jessie on this one.
I don't think Jessie
Hermione up higher on this
are
list.
real sidekicks. There's a difference between co-star and sidekick.
I think Buzz Lightyear is Woody's sidekick.
No,
I think they're a duo, but that's fine.
Buzz is just as dumb.
Buzz became dumb. He wasn't originally dumb. I'm sticking Jessie. I'm begging you to let Hermione go higher on the list. I think she deserves it.
I'll gladly see Hermione higher on this list. Absolutely, Tim. I support this. I'll give you Jessie if we can get Hermione in the top 3.
I'm happy with Donkey. I really am. I'm just saying if I'm attacking the argument, I think Tommy argued why she sucked more. Or why he sucked.
He did.
Dylan, I'm going to let you make this choice.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you really want to stick Hermione. I'm not trying to make it for you.
No, I want to see Hermione higher on this list, and we'll get back to Donkey in a minute. I think Jessie should be 4. Hermione, we can get into the top 3. Donkey, Tommy, you argued against him.
Yeah, I really feel like you bet against yourself this round, Tommy.
You started with sidekicks you don't want. That was your opening statement.
I agree. Why would you do
but
that?
in the fun kind of.
All right, so our number 4 pick is Jessie from Toy Story. Let us go to number 3. It's my pick. I'm going Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's high for Uncle Iroh.
High for Uncle.
Sidekick.
What?
Not a sidekick.
He's like a mentor.
He is
Yeah.
without a doubt a
Nobody's
sidekick
not on the list.
Zuko. They literally go off on adventures. It's the best buddy cop thing in cartoons I've ever seen.
But they're not.
He's the mentor.
Uncle
Yeah.
Iroh is a sidekick and a mentor. I believe that the two can merge.
No.
Yes! Iroh is a good friend, a good father, and a good teacher to Zuko. He is always there for him. He knows best for him, and he would do anything for him. He is a sidekick, but in the best sense of the word. I told you my top 3 was going to be people who you cringe a little bit about calling sidekicks, but I think on paper, Iroh's a sidekick.
In the best sense of the word, that word is mentor.
Yeah, he's a mentor, not a sidekick.
All right, let's go to Tommy.
My number 3, sometimes your sidekick just needs to be the muscle. Someone you need to run someone over, you ask him, and he doesn't think twice. And it's Pumbaa.
Ah,
Someone who needed Timon to be successful in life, which a sidekick can't thrive on their own. They need to be in the group and they need to be working off someone.
I think Hermione could kick Harry.
See, that's why she's not a sidekick to me.
But, okay. You're sticking to your argument. I appreciate it.
And, first of all, if you don't love Pumbaa, I'm sorry. You're an awful human being. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but you suck.
Tommy, I like this like recurring trend of every single show you like tell the people how it is. Like last show you were like, if you think this about Jurassic Park, you're a moron. So I like
We're talking facts.
I like that this is a recurring thing.
My number 3, and I will do him justice, is Donkey. And the reason I didn't vote for Donkey at number 4. All right. So Tommy fought a lot against me. But you have to love first of all, the dynamic between Shrek and Donkey. It's awesome. Donkey provides a lot of comic relief. He solves the dragon issue. Him and the dragon have awesome dragon donkey babies. They're incredible. They're awesome. There's a whole bunch of iconic lines that either involve Donkey or are said by Donkey. Without Donkey, you don't have a Shrek franchise. You just don't. Donkey is a necessary character to make this whole thing work. And as Tommy pointed out about the sidekicks, which you could argue, but Donkey needs Shrek. Donkey doesn't have a place without Shrek, and he finds it right along Shrek's side as a loyal friend and sidekick and partner.
Okay. I'm going to humbly bow out as much as it hurts because I recognize that I'm not winning this Uncle Iroh fight. I think you're both wrong, but I know when I'm beat. So I'm gonna say, Dylan, your argument was very strong, but I heard a lot against Donkey in the last round, which is swaying me. So I don't think I have an argument against why Pumbaa shouldn't be number 3. Like,
No?
I'm really
There is no argument, and we just heard all the ones against Donkey.
I'm racking my brain right now, and I can't think of anything to say against Pumbaa.
There's nothing negative.
He's gassy.
No, but
So am I.
But I would argue Donkey smells like a donkey. So, like, take your pick.
yeah, I'm voting Pumbaa.
I'll concede Pumbaa because I love
How many
it.
rounds has it been since I got one?
Our number 3 pick is Pumbaa! Going on to number 2. I'm starting this one off, guys. My number 2 pick, and I want to be very clear. Number 2 and number 1 flipped multiple times in the making of this list, but I landed on this because of my argument for number 1. I believe the number 2 pick for best sidekick is Chewbacca from Star Wars. Need I say more? Chewbacca is the sidekick we all want. Like, we want, because he fills out every role. He's loyal. He finishes the missions. He could carry your bags if you wanted. He's essentially having a bear dog. Like, he's man's best friend, who also you could just, like, play chess with. Like, he fills out all the roles. And he is a hell of a shot. He takes out stormtroopers like you wouldn't believe. He survives all 3 trilogies, and no matter what problems you have with each of the trilogies, I like all 3, but that's my personal preference. No matter what problems you have with the trilogies, you never have a problem with Chewie. You never do. He steals the show several times, and he's the reason that Solo works.
He is great in Solo, and I love their origin story that we finally get to see. I appreciated that a lot.
Yeah. My number 2, sometimes you need a friend who is just not like anyone else. Like, no friend you've ever had before. It's Genie. Sometimes, imagine having Genie as your sidekick, and at least 3 times, anything you need, you have.
I mean, not at least 3, just Just 3. There's only 3 wishes.
3 times. But hey, Dylan, you want a brisket? Boom, there's a brisket.
Tommy, you're going to waste a wish on a brisket?
Yes. I mean, in terms of having a sidekick, he gives you everything you need when you need it. So I figure for a sidekick, it does get better than that. There's no downside other than you're kind of a ticking clock, but he's going to be with you forever if you only make 2 wishes. He's stuck.
My number 2 is Patrick Starr. Because for this, I'm going to take kind of the same donkey argument where you don't have an iconic cartoon franchise, which was all of our childhood. Most everybody around our age, that was the show we watched. The generation before us had Looney Tunes. We had SpongeBob. I'm not saying SpongeBob is the same as Looney Tunes, but it is our childhood version of it in a way. It's everybody knows all of the iconic moments and all the lines from it. And without Patrick, you don't have like half of that. And you don't have a show without Patrick Starr. I think he is an essential part of the plot, like a best friend to SpongeBob. He's always there whenever SpongeBob needs him. Loyalty is there. Friendship is there. He's definitely the sidekick to SpongeBob. I don't think you could argue Patrick is higher than SpongeBob in that duo. And, like, what argument do you have against Patrick Starr?
He's kind of useless.
He helps SpongeBob get into the salty spittoon, for starters. Almost does.
Okay, I don't have an argument directly against Patrick. I really don't. But
number 2 is high.
But when held up to these other 2 candidates, I would argue they do a lot more for any of the plots they're given than Patrick does. And this is someone who loves Patrick Starr so much. But I think the way I have to tackle this, if we're going into a debate here, is that I think both Chewie and Genie really get the job done and further the plot, whereas Patrick just basically does whatever SpongeBob does and just kind of doubles down on it. I think that's fair. And
he's not the point of the sidekick, though.
It is, but I'm looking for the number 2 spots that go above and beyond. Like,
that's a good argument, Tim.
Thank you. And then for Genie, I mean, I love Genie, but Genie's like there against his will. Like, you gotta feel a little bad about that. Like, he is saying all the time under his breath that he wants out. And you are the scumbag that is keeping him tied down. And I'm sorry, I just don't know if I want that on my conscience. I think Chewbacca just gets this spot. Like, come on.
Chewbacca's a little higher on my list.
Chewbacca is also a little higher on my list.
I was so worried that would happen. Damn.
I thought he was going to be the unanimous pick between the 3 of us.
Okay.
It should have been.
So you know who my number 1 is going to be. So I will ask, will you consider reshaping the list if you hear my argument? Because I feel like I have a damn good argument.
I think we're going
to... I'm putting Hermione ahead of Chewbacca.
You're putting Hermione ahead?
No.
I am, and I want you to hear my argument. I want you to hear my argument. Consider reshaping the list when you hear Hermione. That's my only thing. I'm not saying number 1. I'm just saying consider pushing her back. Okay?
I think she goes beyond this list. We already discussed this.
All right. So if we're looking at Genie and Patrick, I think I'm going Patrick.
I'm going to stick to Patrick here. I think Patrick is a more iconic character than Genie is.
Whoa.
Whoa?
Whoa. That's just not right.
Are you sure?
Iconic's not the word.
Yeah, iconic.
Okay, not iconic, but maybe I...
All right, so it is 2-1. I don't feel good about it because I love Genie. For now, with the option to move, Patrick Starr takes our number 2 spot. Congratulations, Patrick! Let's get ready to do our number 1 pick, guys. And to start this off, we're going to go to Dylan.
My number 1 pick is Chewbacca. I think he absolutely... When, Tim, you talked about sidekicks, who's the first one that comes to mind? Chewbacca is easily one of the first ones that comes to your list. Personally, for me, it was number 1 because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd and fan, love everything about it, and everything that Tim has already said. You can dispute what movies you like, what trilogies are the best, but the one thing you can't dispute is Chewbacca's role across the board in all of them. You can't argue he's a bad character. He's just not a bad character. He's a major supporting character. He's got the comic relief. He's got the heartfelt moments. He does it all across the whole spectrum. And spoiler, when you think he dies in episode 9, was that not one of the most heart-crushing moments of years of Star Wars?
In the theater, my jaw was on the ground, and like not in a good way. Like I remember they switched to a scene and they told a joke in the scene, and I didn't respond to it because I was like, I am still very much recovering, thinking Chewie had died. Like
when they bring him back,
I was crying.
And when they bring him back and he's not dead, it's so heartfelt. Like they just play with your emotions with Chewbacca because they know how invested we are in Chewbacca, as we should be. And we'll get to Tim's argument, but I think Chewbacca absolutely is the number one.
My number one is Chewbacca, and I'm going to say it like this. If you don't like Chewbacca, I hate you.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. Tell them how it is, Tommy.
So story time, because we all have a Chewbacca argument, and it's the right argument.
Correct.
In 2nd grade, I failed multiple spelling tests because I would just do it quick. Then on the back of my paper, I would draw 5 or 6 Chewbaccas.
That is commitment and love, and I love it, Tommy.
I'm not going to argue for the number one spot because I agree it should be Chewbacca. So before we get too far into this, I would like to give the number one spot to Chewbacca.
Rightfully deserved.
I don't.
Here's your medal.
Here's your medal. Oh, people don't like that, but grow a heart, people. Get a heart thing, man. All right. Here we go. I'm going to take a different approach. My number one and number two flipped constantly in making this list because I too love Chewbacca. I gave the edge to Hermione Granger, and I would like to talk about why, and I would also like to now do something I don't think we've done in the show. I would like to argue for the number 2 spot for Hermione Granger. I think Hermione, for all the reasons as we said before, is loyal. She never leaves Harry. She is his best friend through and through. Ron, he runs off all the time. Hermione is always there for him. She excels at everything she does. She saves their lives multiple times. And she is the definition of kind of cringing at calling a sidekick because she surpasses it in a lot of ways, but on paper, she is a sidekick. And the reason Hermione should be at least in number 2 is because here is a character that is a sidekick, but almost unanimously agreed to be better than the main character. Like, a lot of people watch those movies for Hermione, even if you don't love Harry Potter, which I know you don't, Tommy, but I think Hermione is the standout every single time. She gets the job done. She's the most memorable part. She deserves the most in it. And I really think the reason I had Hermione over Chewie was I just think Chewie doesn't necessarily surpass Han or Luke, but at times, there's an argument there, but I think Hermione does surpass Harry. And so I argued Hermione for 1, but I'll take the L. I would like to argue Hermione for 2.
It feels really weird putting Patrick at 2 and Hermione not even on the list.
So,
Hermione needs to be on this list, absolutely.
So, see ya, Patrick.
Wait.
I'm okay with that. I think Hermione should be on this list over Patrick Starr. I don't think it's really...
May I offer an alternate solution?
You may.
As we have done many a time.
You may.
All right.
We got to make sure this list is right because remember...
Do we want to break our ties from what we should be doing to what we feel is right? We're going to sever the brain from the heart right now. What if we take the hit, we do it, and we cut Robin off the list, and we shift everyone down, and Hermione takes 2? What do you say?
I say snip, snip, Robin.
Snip, snip, Robin. Our final list of the top 6 sidekicks of all time that the internet can never dispute ever again is number 6, Samwise the Brave. Number 5, Jessie from Toy Story. Number 4, Pumbaa from Lion King. Number 3, Patrick Starr from SpongeBob. Number 2, Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter series. And number 1, you all know him, You all love him. It's Chewbacca from the Star Wars series. I'd like to thank all of our contestants for the list for appearing in today's episode. The final score, when we're looking at it, is I have 3 entries, Dylan has 3 entries, Tommy has 2 entries. So a close game overall, but I think that the tie needs to go to me and Dylan. Well done, everyone. This was the top shelf takes we looked for. Now, I'd like to ask our audience, who are your favorite sidekicks of all time? Now, as always, I need to caution you, it won't be fact, it'll just be opinion. The fact is right there. But I still want to hear what you have to say. Let us know in the comments. If you like this, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and this has been Top Shelf Takes. We'll see you next week.